National VIPs, President and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines. He is Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Delphine Negrillo Lorenzana. Military VIPs, Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Andres C. Centino, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Commanding General, Philippine Army, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Armed Forces of the Philippines. Commander Arescom, Major General Fernando V. Felipe, Philippine Army. Group Commander, 19th Region Commission Defense Group, Colonel Patricio S. Tomales. Infantry, General Senior Corps, Philippine Army.
Commission Officer.
Commanding Officer, 902nd Zamboanga del Norte, Community Defense Center. Major Elijah V. Lomantas, Civil Engineering, Philippine Army. President, JRMSU System, Dr. Dailinda R. Laput. Nstp Director, Dr. Rachel J. Daimil. Nstp Unit Head, Dr. Noel J. Lopicilio. Commandant, JRMSU ROTC, Army ROTC Unit, Major Elijah V. Lomantas, Civil Engineering, Philippine Army. Assistant Commandant, 2nd Lieutenant Nicanor B. Obnimaga, Reserve, Philippine Army. Chief Clerk, Corporal Roderick C. Acoimo, Infantry, Philippine Army. Tactical Officer, Captain Cesar C. Bala, Reserve, Philippine Army. 2nd Lieutenant Joey Peter M. Villaruz, Reserve, Philippine Army. Senior Tactical NCOs, Reservist. Admin NCO, Sergeant Jornel R. Laput, Reserve, Philippine Army. Tactical NCOs, Reservist. Private First Class John Ray A. Maglasang, Infantry, Philippine Army. Staff Sergeant Gerald Rech H. Soto, Reserve, Philippine Army. Staff Sergeant Michael Ray Elvin S. Barreros, Reserve, Philippine Army. Sergeant Nancy E. Aranwaez, Reserve, Philippine Army. Sergeant Maynard O. Comisilia, Reserve, Philippine Army. Private Del G. Patangan, Reserve, Philippine Army. Private Richie A. De La Rosa, Reserve, Philippine Army. Private Charlie E. Tagapan, Reserve, Philippine Army. Graduate Military Assistant, or GMA, Private Adams N. Sumalpong, Reserve, Philippine Army. Private Nilo B. Lagradilla, Reserve, Philippine Army. Private Jefferson Paglinawan, Reserve, Philippine Army. Private Rico Jack J. Tawataw, Reserve, Philippine Army. Private Private Glenmar G. Olinan, Reserve, Philippine Army. Private
Sharam.
Shahara May M. Halin, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Jezreel M. Pascolado, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Vincent Jollibee G. Cadano, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Ray R. Dayaw, Reserve Philippine Army. Private John Ray B. Baladares, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Joven Ray E. Sakal, Reserve Philippine Army. Private John Fritz C. Cuenca, Reserve Philippine Army. Private John Paul P. Yorong, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Michelle P. Andicoy, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Vance Alistair L. Pagasian, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Mark Gel L. Lagamon, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Glisel Faith D. Carino, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Jezaline Ilopre, Reserve Philippine Army. Private Maybell B. Senkay, Reserve Philippine Army. Brigade Corps Commander Cadet Colonel J. P. Monte de Ramos, ROTC First Class. Executive Officer or Disciplinary Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Roderick L. Cadona, ROTC First Class. Brigade S1 or Adjutant Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Bless T. Manlupig, ROTC First Class. Brigade S2 or Intelligence Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Ronel V. Bailon, ROTC First Class. Brigade S3 or Operation Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Romel P. Samson, ROTC First Class. Brigade S4 or Logistic Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Shelame P. Azores, ROTC First Class. Brigade S7 or Liaison Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jamaica S. Lagudas, ROTC First Class. 1st Battalion Commander Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jomari T. Osabel, ROTC First Class. 2nd Battalion Commander Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jefford C. Colonel, ROTC First Class. 1st Battalion Executive Officer or Disciplinary Cadet Lieutenant Major Mark T. Cadenia, ROTC First Class. S1 or Adjutant Cadet Major Kathleen Rose A. Apau, ROTC First Class.
Para makawalo ka, asa na siya?
Battalion S2 or Intelligence Officer Cadet Major Jericho T. Osabel, ROTC First Class. Battalion S3 or Operation Cadet Major Jason A. Camarolin, ROTC First Class. Battalion S4 or Logistic Cadet Major Maria Alona Jane B. Alfon, ROTC First Class. Battalion S7 or Liaison, Cadet Major Chen Lee R. Silva, ROTC First Class. 2nd Battalion Executive Officer or Disciplinary, Cadet Major Brian B. Banuelos, ROTC First Class. Battalion S1 Adjutant or Adjutant, Cadet Major Robilin B. Magnawong, ROTC First Class. Battalion S2 or Intelligence, Cadet Major Hansel D. Zobrado, ROTC First Class. Battalion S3 or Operation, Cadet Major Raymart O. Lakay, ROTC First Class. Battalion S4 or Logistic, Cadet Major Mary Joy C. Maghinay, ROTC First Class. Battalion S7 or Liaison, Cadet Major Ruela Bernadette D. Quinlog, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Mary Chris A. Lidama, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Aaron J. Kalasang, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Stephen J. F. Tacliad, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Jovenal T. Catilok, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Christian G. Sadane, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Arian Faye Palangan, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Baby Janela D. Cañete, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Gino A. Carbonella, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Kent O. Dampalya, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Raymart S. Anyo, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Brittany D. Agiit, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Rakeman C. Cabanag, ROTC First Class. Cadet Major Mark Jen R. Proceso, ROTC First Class. Cadet Captain Richard S. Zamoras, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Joseph B. Meral, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Erwin T. Palomares, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Aurelio L. Flores, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Kent Roy F. Maghanoy, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Rowan Vincent A. Samanduran, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Jefferson A. Makiling, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Blaze Jason H. Whiting, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain May Angel S. Conato, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Raymar B. Demos, ROTC for Second Class. Cadet Captain June Kenneth D. Desierdo, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Jonathan D. Gumanad, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Kevin M. Delicano, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Lenchi Kyle F. Abapo, ROTC Second Class. Cadet Captain Lovell Jane T. Maginsay, ROTC Second Class. Military Professionalism. Men who adopt the profession of arms submit their own free will to the law or pictual constraints of their own accord. They reject the right to live where they choose, to say what they think, to dress as they like. From the moment they become soldiers, it needs but an order to settle them in this place, to move them to that, to separate them from their families and dislocate their normal lives. In the world of command, they must rise, march, run, and endure bad weather, and go out without sleep or food, be isolated in some distant post, work until they drop. They have ceased to be their master of their own fate. If they drop on their tracks, their ashes shall be scattered in the four winds. That is all part of and parcel of their own job. Pledge of loyalty. If you work for a man, in heaven's name, work for him, speak well of him, and stand by the institution that represents. Remember, an ounce of loyalty is worth a pound of cleverness. If you must growl, condemn, and internally find fault, why not resign your own position? And when you are in the outside, them to your heart content. But as long as you are a part of this institution, do not condemn it. If you do, the first high wind that comes along will blow you away. Military courtesy, an act of politeness, civility, and respect that a personnel in a military organization occurred to one another. Military discipline. It is a state of order and obedience existing within a command. Military leadership. It is a process of influencing men in such a manner as to accomplish a mission. Military secrecy. What you see, what you hear, when you leave it here. Salute is the highest form of courtesy. 11 General Orders. 1. To take the charge of this post and all government properties and views. 2. To walk my post in a military manner, keeping always on alert and observing everything takes place with insight or hearing. 3. To report all violations of orders I am instructed to enforce. 4. To repeat all calls. 3. To report all violations of orders I am instructed to enforce. 4. To repeat all calls from posts more distant from the guard house than my own. 5. 5. To quit my post only properly relieved. 6. To receive, obey, and pass in the sentinel to relieve me all orders from the commanding officers, officer of the day, and non-commissioned of the guard only. 7. To talk to no one except in line of duty. 8. To give the alarm in case of fire and disaster. 9. To call the commander of the guard in any case not covered by instructions. Call the commander of the guard in any case not covered by instructions. 10. To salute all officers, colors, and standard not cased. 11. To be especially watchful at night and during the time of to challenge all person on or near my post and to allow no one to pass without proper authority.